Welcome everyone to another Spot On Chat. I'm Rebecca Monet with Zorakle Profiles. We provide profiling tools to franchisors and franchise consultants that helps facilitate a right fit between a prospective franchisee and a franchisor. Talking about franchisors, my guest today is Robert Bruski. He's with Ctrl. He is the CFO there. He's an idea guy. He is Mr. Eclectic all the way. So I'm so excited to have you, Robert.
Yo, what's shaking, Rebecca? I'm excited to be here.
You're so much fun. You know, it's funny because when I first met you, I'm thinking high tech, nerdy kind of guy behind Ctrl. And it was like disarming to see this bodacious, eclectic guy and how expressive you are. In fact, if you don't mind, I'd like to learn more about some of your other interests, along with, of course, the virtual reality and everything you're doing at Ctrl. But my understanding is you have a bunch of passions, a bunch of different interests. Any that you can share with us today?
Yeah, I love music. Music is my thing. I play a ton of instruments. I'm in rock bands. I co-founded a music production company that does artist management and artist representation. I listen to tons of music and fire out playlists. Just music is my deep passion. I just love it so much. It's so
Wow.
expressive. So much stuff you could do with it. And I mean, beyond that too, like I play competitive pool, I go kickboxing, I play competitive basketball. I'm on the board of some charitable organizations. We have a shelter for at-risk and homeless youth. There's another charitable organization, a nonprofit that I'm part of that provides support for entrepreneurs that are marginalized because of skin color. I'm a mentor as part of the Founders Institute. I love Jack Daniels.
Who doesn't?
Right.
Oh my gosh. You know, it's interesting. I have a friend, she was quite a bit older than me at the time, and she was incredibly youthful in her 70s. And we would go places and we did a lot of traveling internationally together. And people would ask her age because she had this childlike wonder and energy about her. And they would frequently ask her what caused her to be so vital and so energetic and so youthful, even into her late 70s at that point. And she said it was having an insatiable curiosity and having many interests and passions. And instead of becoming kind of myopic, it's just business or just golf or whatever it is, having various interests seemed to stimulate her and bring this vitality and this effervescence about her, where people were like moth to flame. And you're similar. You're very similar. It's like moth to flame. When people meet you, it's like, tell me more, tell me more. I want to know what's going on in that head of yours. So you must have some very interesting people that you hang out with and things that you do because of this variety of interests and passions that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. I try to avoid quoting Steve Jobs because it's just so cliche. But one of the things he said, and I paraphrase, is that when a creative person or a right-brained person is asked to solve a problem, they just solve it and they say, here it is. And a non-creative person will say, well, how did you do that? And they'll say, what do you mean, how did I do that? I just did it. And it's because a creative person or a right-brained person will be involved in so many different things that the way they synthesize the solution for that problem is so unique from all over the place, right? So that's what I try to do. Maybe it's because of my curiosity, but even the people I hang out with, every year I go on a big ski trip with like 20 or 25 people, and most of them are medical professionals, oncologists, anesthesiologists, pharmacists. But when I'm back in my real life, I'm talking to tech guys, I'm talking to music guys. I just want to know about everything. That's it. Google is my friend.
But you're right. I think the brain, or I know the brain, creates these interesting synapses because of the various ways of looking at things. So your pool playing or your competitive basketball, maybe the synapses that are being created are all about strategy and team and goal oriented or whatever. Those synapses coming together, and then the music is about composition and putting complex things together in a harmonious way, or an enjoyable and fun way. But all these different things, like you said, and then hanging with your friends that have a scientific medical bent to them, which is my background also, by the way. They're going to look at things more from that left brain, and you're able to kind of cross over and do all the above.
For sure. I mean, I'm involved with Ctrl V. You can see the big sign behind me. We're a virtual reality arcade. So most people chalk that up to gaming and tech, but I'm by no means a gamer. I had a Sega Genesis when I was a kid, and I played it once in a while. But after that, like, I don't mind games. I play them, but it's not like a deep passion of mine. You know, I'm not into PlayStation or Xbox or anything like that. For me, the passion is like building things. So whether it's a virtual reality arcade or
Yeah.
I don't know, an elephant circus, you know, I'm excited to like compile the different components and build something cool.
Oh, I can see the passion. It's so fun to listen to you and to see how your brain really, really works. But you're right, it's usually not about the business itself. It's about the joy and the fulfillment that comes from it. But I wanted to address another thing. You mentioned several um, nonprofits or charitable situations that you're involved in. So tell me a little bit more about that, and what was the attraction to those, and what made you step up? You're running a business, you got a million things, you're a musician, you're doing competitive boxing, but you still make time for this to contribute, to make a difference.
Yeah, so that's a great question. The nature of who I am is I just love being kind and helping people unconditionally, and sometimes that throws people off. Like, you're just doing stuff, you're helping people, and I don't get why, right? And this happens with family and friends, and I just put on events and whatever it is. And then one day, a friend of mine approached me, and she was on the board of this shelter for at-risk and homeless youth. And she kind of said, hey, listen, you know, you've got a different skill set that the board doesn't have, and it would be
Mhm.
fantastic to have you on the board. And I was like, okay, well, this is my opportunity to help like a larger cause. And so when I got on the board, I'm like, wow, there is a considerable amount of information or data or whatever it is that I can contribute here and help in my own way. You know, I don't have a legal background or a social work background, but let me
Right.
tell you, my economic and business background is my passion. So I'm like, yeah, let's do this. And so I figured, if that's helping this organization, which, you know, trickles down and helps people that need it, maybe I can get involved in other things and make a difference that way too.
And you also encourage your franchisees at Control V to do similar, to get involved at the local level with various charitable situations. So not only does it make a great reach out to the community, but it's a feel good, right? It's a feel good.
Yeah, it's good for the soul. So if it makes you feel good. It's good for PR. But also, you know, specifically in franchising, sometimes people forget that franchises are owned by small business owners. They think of big
Hmm.
brands like McDonald's, and they think this is the corporate man. But McDonald's is a franchise, and they've got individual business owners owning these businesses. So when the population kind of understands that you're supporting an individual, they like to
Yeah.
get to know that individual and connect with them. So get out of the community and connect with your customers.
Yeah. It's good for the soul, good for the heart, good for business, good for the wallet. It's
Yeah,
check, check, check. We've done it all.
exactly.
Well, I am so glad you could make time for me to get to know you a little more deeper and a more intimate level. And I look forward to talking to you in our next Spot On Chat.
I dig it. I'm excited. Thanks, Rebecca.